You may choose to look the other way, but you can never say again that you did not know. Today I'm going to persuade you to take an active role in stopping sexual trafficking, as well as how the use of pornography supports sex trafficking. For those of you that agree with the use of porn, I will show you how pornography supports sex trafficking. For those of you that don't agree, I will give you tools to use to persuade others and to help those in need. I feel strongly about this issue because I personally have struggled with addiction to porn, and because of the research that I have done in journal articles, on websites, and in government-conducted studies. First, I will talk about pornography and how it promotes sexual slavery. Second, I will talk about sexual slavery in the world today. And last, I will talk about what you can do to help those in need. According to www.state.gov, last seen July 13, 2015, the term Commercial Sex Act means any sex act on account of which anything of value is given to or received by any person. And the term sex trafficking means the recruitment, harboring, transportation, provision, or obtaining of a person for the purpose of a commercial sex act. By these definitions, porn is a sex act. With this visual aid, 3 out of every 4 people, victims, according to that graph, that are trafficked online as well. There are many arguments for and against porn. A couple of the leading arguments are that porn is okay because it keeps me out of trouble. This argument falls under the begging the question fallacy. Because you can't, It is an argument that no one can verify because it does not have valid evidence. Sex addiction therapists and addicts themselves, speaking from experience, say that porn can provoke a relapse into sexual behaviors. Another argument is that pornography improves the attitude and opinions towards sex and the human body. This also falls under the begging the question fallacy. Like all addiction, sex addiction is a progressive disorder. Addicts tend to move to more severe illusions and conduct over time. Using porn can lead addicts to new and more dangerous terrain. So we've just looked at pornography and how it promotes sexual slavery. Now let's take a look at sexual slavery in the world today. The International Labor Organization estimates 20.9 million victims trafficked annually around the world. 5.5 million of these are children. 55% of these are women and girls. This includes labor trafficking as well as sex trafficking. Prostitutes are not the only aspect of trafficking. As I defined before, sex trafficking is obtaining a person for the purpose of a commercial sex act. Another visual aid. Porn is an act of commercial sex. And therefore is sex trafficking. The women and children involved in this, in pornography, often don't have a choice. They are involved against their will by the pimp or perpetrator. And the reason for this is twofold. One, they make more money by doing it, and the second is that it's a tool of blackmail. They can hold that over the head of the victim. Because once your portrait or picture is online, on the internet, it's there forever, and they can link that to you, and you can't get away from it. Slavery in the U.S., we don't have clear statistics on how many citizens are trafficked in the U.S., but the estimates are in the hundreds of thousands, including an estimate of over 100,000 children. Slavery includes more than just trafficking. The role violence plays in porn trivializes rape and other forms of abuse. It encourages males to include dehumanizing acts in sex and teaches women to accept violence as a natural part of sexual activity. I had always fancied myself a strong, no-nonsense woman whose intense independence was cultivated by 17 harrowing years of emotional abuse in my backwoods home. May 25th temporarily shattered that self-image and left me feeling like the broken victim that I had never wanted to be. Angie Epifano, victim of rape at Amherst College, 2014. According to www.ncjrs.gov, last visited December 2000, 1 in every 20 women in college will be raped in an academic year. We've just looked at sexual slavery in the world today. Now let's talk about what we can do about it. If you or someone you know is struggling with addiction to porn, you need to get help. You can get help from a friend or a mentor, someone who can keep you accountable. There are many support groups available. Some of the main ones, like Every Man's Battle, are solely devoted to dealing with sexual addiction. So we just, okay. And you can also take a stand. Many people will not buy a blood diamond because they know what it stands for. It stands for child slavery, and you're supporting of a dictator that promotes slavery. The same thing goes for pornography, or purchasing any of these. Pornography, they're going to the strip club, going to the gentleman's club, etc. Purchasing any of these or using them supports the sex trafficking trade. I just talked to you about how you can take an active role in stopping human trafficking, as well as how the use of pornography supports sex trafficking. Accustom yourself to look first to the dreadful consequences of failure, then fix your eyes on the glorious prize which is before you, and when your strength begins to fail and your spirits are well nigh exhausted, let the animating view rekindle your resolution, and call forth in renewed vigor the fainting energies of your soul. William Wilberforce. In response to this speech, I encourage you to get involved by helping an organization that combats human trafficking. There are many resources for this. You can download an app called Traffic Stop for mobile use. Please write down these sites: International Justice Mission at ijm.org, or the Idaho Coalition for Justice at icjustice.com. ICJ can also be found on Facebook. Help protect our loved ones, our sisters, daughters, friends, and family. You don't need to wait for the right time. The time is now. Stand for freedom. Stand for the right to live in a world free of this evil.